se nyt meni? Oliko se mulla? Ei mulla. Twitterit kova.
Se sama tässä on palveli, sen ei myös jalos jäästä.
I'll wait to see if anyone says that. Maybe my chat died. Nice one.
No, aio.
It's actually kind of a cool thing.
About? Okay. Enpä kyllä tarvi kommentaattorinikään. Jelle memes. Very yes. Alright. So I'm guessing we can start even. Alright, so yeah. Gonna have a countdown at it's gonna be RTA timing for us, but I guess I'll mental time it out. So yeah, 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, thanks. Right, so this is Naughty Dog's last Crash game, Crash Team Racing, where they took out the entire platforming gimmick and made a racing game instead. For whatever reason, it ended up being one of the best kart racers ever made. And part of that is unintentionally, because they did design some deep mechanics to the game, but a lot of it comes from heavy glitching and abuse. But I really like sit more in there of the mechanics. So right off the bat, you can look backwards to reduce lag. That saves like frames. But it's good to do in a few tracks, because the PS1 isn't exactly known for being too good at handling a lot of objects on the screen at the same time. Also, the AI can troll you like happened there, so I had a roll, but it's really minimal because I don't have fire yet, which is the main mechanic of this game. All of CTR's speed running boils down to how well you can keep fire, which is the thing at the back of my cart right now, aka, yeah, fire. However, it is very little right now, and once I get that speed boost right there, the turbo pads, it gives a way bigger fire. And you can maintain that the entire time you spent through the course by doing more and more of these mini turbos and hopefully getting that skip too, so you don't have to hit walls. If you hit walls, then the fire you had is now gone. And what ends up happening is that this is like the regular speed of CTR, where it's kind of slow, and you can see the speedometer at the bottom right now. It's facing like 90 degrees up. Now that I have fire again, it's facing all the way to the max, and yeah, I'm not entirely sure how to put that in numbers, but it's way noticeable and saves multiple seconds in the run if you can keep it alive. That was a really nice jump. But yeah, that's the actual like skip. There's a mega prop here, it's random. Of course I'm not getting it. It's a time trial strat where even the time trial doesn't actually get it 3 out of 3 times. I think it only has once, because it's that random. This game has a lot of like really... They're not like actual random RNG kind of things. but they're like sub-pixel whatever perfect, and it ends up being the kind of thing where even time trialers can get them consistently, and it just ends up being random for a human. But luckily, they only save roughly half a second each time, so as long as you're solid at basic driving, everything's gonna go fine for you. Now, Roost Hoops, unlike Crash Cove, is a less basic track, and it's gonna introduce actual geometry in the tracks, meaning downhills. If you drive on a downhill, you gain more speed, and if you have more speed from anything than your max speed is, you can keep that by jumping. And there's a downhill button at the start here, which is going to show it off. This is called a speed ghost for whatever reason. It's like some teenager French guys made up all the terms for CTR. Like right now, the fire that I have is actually called Sacred Fire. And there's a lot more fancy names coming up later in the run. But yeah, now that I have downhill speed again, I can keep it by jumping. It speeds me up a little bit. Also, if you jump on, like, do double jumps and whatever, off of certain polygons in the map, or just terrain, yeah, like uphills, you go up it faster for some reason. Like, it's the kind of thing where if you jump twice, it just adds to your speed constantly instead of removing from it. You can also buffer jumps, so that makes frogging, aka this jump spam, really easy. It also allows for some other strats later in the game. Now, there's another, like that really big downhill there. Right after that is a really small bump, and if you chain together all these downhills, if possible within the track anyway, you can chain together speed, and as such you go even faster than before. And I might probably do it once more here. I'll try anyway. This track also doesn't allow you to collect Wumpa unless you get lucky on the items, which I didn't. Yeah, there we go. I got a little bit more speed, but it didn't really last. The game also likes eating jumps, so that kind of sucks on the PAL version. The NTSC version is a lot easier, but it's slower in the run because of the language glitch that's apparent right now, as it should say loading on the screen, but it doesn't. And what you do at the start of the run is, the game asks you to choose a language, English, whatever, German. But instead of choosing anything, you press triangle, which cancels the language selection, and you don't choose any language at all. Some people say it's an unfinished Japanese version of the game, which I never really believed, but I guess it's true. But yeah, it removes every language option, like visible thing, and all the voice acting that isn't ows and other generic sounds. But what it actually does is it skips the cutscene entirely, saving 21 seconds, placing PAL on top of NTSC in the version differences list. You can do more double jumps off of that, and if you just keep jumping, you keep speed. Even in rough terrain, you can just go really fast through it. So rough terrain usually isn't an issue, but for the most part, you do want to avoid it. There's another downhill. And here's the Wumpa plates, right? So they add Wumpa to your Wumpa counter, and every Wumpa you collect counts. You get 5 to 8 Wumpa through RNG from every crate, and every Wumpa adds a certain percent to your card speed, and once you have 10, it's like 2% faster, so you can do the math, because I never have, and I don't care. But it's really important in most tracks to collect all 10 Wumpa at the start of like lap 1, or at least throughout lap 1 and 2, so you can save, well, like a second per track also, because going out of your way for them wastes like 0.3, but then you save 0.5 back, so it's all worth it. Here's another downhill thing. If I get really lucky, again, here's a sub-pixel perfect thing where I can just kind of chain this and get really mad speed off of it, which I didn't, but yeah, it's rare. And I'm hoping it happens, because it would be fun, but I guess not. There's a mid-empty, so you can buffer jumps in this game, like I mentioned, and if you do that, and buffer a direction while you buffer a jump, you can also get a drift mid-air while getting a jump at the same time, so you can combine both an MT, which is the mid-turbo, aka the drift boost, by drifting mid-air, and you also get a landing boost, so you get even more reserves than before. And what are reserves? They are, as I said, doing MTs and other boosts, maintains the fire behind your card, and reserves are essentially how many MTs you've done. And they decrease every frame in the game, so you gotta keep your boost chain up. The boost chain isn't visible unless you're playing an NTSCJ, but yeah, you gotta feel for it. It's gonna be near the list of the caves. Yeehaw. Now, Sewer Speedway is gonna introduce another way of getting SG, aka Speed Ghost. Every other track gets it from a downhill, but this one has a special property right at the end by using the walls. Aqua also doesn't say anything when you have language glitch on, so he just kind of goes away and poofs. Yeah, thanks. tried fixing it, but yeah. It's also called Any Peasant War Plus cause there was a glitch found like a month or two back where you can just die in battle mode 20 times and you get the crits of the game, so now we have adventure mode as a separate speedrun, which arguably is the better run, but yeah, it's up in the air, who cares. So, how the walls work into a speedrunner. At the end, it's gonna be in like 10-ish seconds. But the walls give you extra speed for apparently no reason. And if you jump while having extra speed, you can skip it. So this wall is the first one. Right now I have more speed than usual, and I can just keep it like this. And there's gonna be another wall here. I can just chain it over to the finish line. Too bad the game ate my jump there, so I have to do more MTs now, but you can also chain it way longer. It's not too notable there. There's also a funny jump here. If you jump really late, you can get a boost like that. It works the same way as the wall does, but I honestly have no idea why it works. But it saves nothing, but it looks cool, so I like doing it. It's a new strat for me at least, and for the time trial community in general, it's like 2015 strat, so that says so much, I think. Landing on downhills like that gives you more speed too, so you want to just do it as early as possible. That was a late jump, but yeah. Landing on any downhill gives you more speed. So abusing the terrain is the gist of CTR. That jump's way too high, but it still saves time, so it's fine. Oh yeah, and the AI can shoot you with missiles if you're unlucky, but that was ahead of me, so it's fine. That's a beautiful SG. That's nice. Language glitch doesn't do anything interesting here yet, apart from removing the dialogue. But it's gonna be tubes again, so do we have any fancy Ibn questions? As that's what you signed up for in commentary.
Yeah. Haven't seen any questions yet.
No. Alright, but yeah, boss battles. It's a 1v1 race where nothing changes apart from... Nice. Cool, nice. Yeah. But yeah, bosses place items behind them, like you can see above me on the track right now. I will never see the TNTs unless I go like really, really fast. But the bosses have like their own characteristic items that they place behind them, and it's only really annoying once you hit like Oxide or something. Yeah, that was unfortunate, but what can you do? Losing fire is really bad, and that would be a reset in like very serious PB attempts. But it's also only a loss of like 2 seconds. Seek has a very brutal speed game in that if you hit any wall or just run out of reserves, if you do like a tighter MT route, then yeah, your run's like immediately dead. Especially in Hub 4 for reasons mentioned later. Oh, that's gonna be nice. It's not. It's still cool though. Alright, here we go. And that's Hub 1 time. And moving on to Hub 2, the bosses give you, as opposed to races giving you trophies, you need 4 trophies from each Hub world to unlock a boss, and then the boss gives you a key to access the next Hub world. And I guess within the law it makes sense. Oh, nice. But I can't remember like what the actual law is apart from the entire like base storyline, which is Oxide, the alien that conquers a parent Earth, aka whatever this planet is, wants to turn the planet into a parking lot, and now Crash and gang has to save that from happening. And that's actually it. So yeah. You can see Oxide's ship here momentarily. It's like that green thing, yeah. But I can't access it because I don't have 4 keys, so off I go and collect them. Now, upcoming is Tiger Temple. It's the only actual, like... Well, it's not the only, but it's the only, like, major item RNG kind of track. if you there's a shortcut where you need a certain item to open the door, and if you don't open the door, you lose 3 seconds. The odds are in your favor, but marathons are marathons, and well, actually, I got a really good PB. Like, my longest marathon PB in terms of getting the shortcut used to be 1 out of 3. But now I have a 2 out of 3, so I'm content with that. Let's see here. Something good. Dude, nice. So, TNTs are things you can only place behind you, and you need something you can throw at them. Now, the things you can actually throw ahead of you are bombs and bottles. And that's like, yeah, there you go, there's a bottle. Those are like the 3 common items, bombs, bottles, and TNTs. You can also get a turbo, but it's like way less common, but I guess it adds to the whole like lottery chance thing of not getting the door open. But yeah, this is fine. So you're gonna boost, like I showed on the last lap, you're gonna boost this little downhill here. Like so. To jump over the grass. There we go. Directly instead of having to go to like the actual main track at all. Saves like a second, I think. Well, there's a marathon. Usual 1 out of 3, but on the bright side, I got to show off the shortcut at least once, so it's fine. The AI can slow you down if you land behind them. They can also speed you up at the start of the track, but if you're going fast already, then they don't do anything other than harm. Aku's tips actually end after a certain amount of challenges are done. So it's right after hop 2. But if you're doing 101%, then they actually end right after hop 1 for whatever reason. Coco Park's the most basic track in the entire game, and it's like the time trialer's nightmare too at the same time. The terrain's not exactly in your favor in terms of doing everything you wanted to do. I missed that in the crib, but that's fine. And I got a really nice jump, okay, that's good. But yeah, you want like high jumps, and if you don't get them, then that's tough, I guess. There's nothing you can do about it really other than just waste time. But that was a really nice one for arm ranging though. I didn't like even if I missed that in the crate, I still got enough from the other one to make up for it. Shields are actually useless in this game apart from a couple of tracks, and all they do is make your driving really annoying, especially on older CLTs. Or just the one I have anyway, where the contrast is really big. It covers your cart like this, and depending on the track, you just cannot see anything from behind it. So I don't really like using them. Wow, those were actually good jumps, nice. That's really rare. Now this one's the final good jump. And I kinda got it, yeah, that's enough speed. Alright, so every track so far has had like not exactly intentional strats, but there haven't been any skips, and Papa's Pyramid upcoming is the first track in the game to actually have a proper, what you would call a skip. And it's also right at the end, so... I really like the Hub World tunes, especially Hub 2. Cool grass jump here if I can get it. I did. Nice. That's really cool. Because it allows you to land downhill and you get really big speed boost. Anyway, here's the skip. You jump on top of this fence and ta-da. You land before the finish line. If you land past the finish line, it skips the lap and then you can't finish it. Well, you can finish it, but it loses like 10 seconds, so you shouldn't. And that's how you do it. The game works in a loading-based way, but it's really not that apparent here. because this track doesn't really show off what Hub 4 would show. But you have to land on this stair here for the skip to load properly. Oh my god. Too close to comfort, yeah, it's fine. The AR engine in this game, like when you're going for serious, like 51/50 attempts, it's like it gets to a point where you actually end up resetting over the AI driving over you. And that's what happens to a lot of mine runs, and I wasn't too pleased about it, as some people in Discord may know, but yeah. That's the life you live. And Aku's done talking to me, except I have to talk to this boss garage here. You have to talk to this at least once, because you need to talk to this. Like, if you talk to it once, he won't talk to you on any boss garage after that. And technically, you can skip every single boss garage Aku trigger, but it loses way more time than just getting it there. And that's the fastest way to get it in, at least as far as I know, because I timed it. You lose the link speed, so it's cool. Here's another SG. Hopefully getting boost off of these like little polygon things. I don't know what they're called. They're like bombs. This track abuses the hills a lot. You can jump on like the start of them and the end of them, and you gain a lot of speed like that. Also landing boosts. So this is probably like the most double/triple jump heavy track in the game when it comes to terrain. The armadillos that are rolling around are also on a cycle, but if you go fast enough, then yeah, it's fine. They don't really do anything notable. Nah, they do something notable. I wasn't fast enough, so. Yeah, that's a good SG though. There we go. Now I gotta watch out for the cycle again, because I don't know where it is. Let's see. That's not bad, I guess. Yeah, that's fine. It looked bad, but wasn't. Righto, so language glitch is gonna really kick in right after this level as the boss loads this cutscene. Normally it would be Papu Papu in Hub 2, as everybody knows, but language glitch does an interesting modification to the game, switching out boss heads. And this will happen to every single boss from now on. But yeah, it's pinstripe. It also plays the cutscene of the guy that has the head instead of the body, so. Alright, so it's gonna be Papu's Pyramid again, which is a quick track with the skip. And depending on my luck here, Papu's either gonna get a boost or not. He did, and that's very good. If he does, he can go ahead of you like very easily, because the rubber banding in this game is insane. And if it does, then that's a real nuisance. You can deal with it, but it loses time, so. There we go, nice game. Alright, good. Also, this fence works in a funny way where it keeps jumping you, so I'm not actually pressing jump on like a certain tilts underscore had in mind to do whenever he ran the game. But if you land on something like a wall, which is what that is, and you can land on it, then it just keeps bouncing away from it, because that's what walls do. It's not actually ground, it's just a wall. Which is why it also loses my fire immediately when I land it, like so, yeah. There's a bottle there, so I usually go from the left of it, depending on where it is. The bottles are generally in the same place, but they're also slightly buried, so I gotta like keep an eye on where they actually are. Like, especially this bottle here, yeah, it's bad, but I have a shield. Normally I would have it to like go around it, so yeah. Oh man, there we go. Nice. Yeah, that wasn't too killing. Very keen. The pinstripe finale. And off to hop 3. I like how the wheels on... Oh, what is that, like? Steering wheels aren't actually connected to the cards. Well, I guess a certain property the wheels of the cards have is that they're actually sprites instead of being models. It's kind of cool, but yeah. Same goes for this one. Lag reduction, there we go. That lags a lot, especially in emulator, and shout out to my boy Jazz E for finding that. Alright, Blizzard Bluff has another skip too. It's not too easy, especially, well actually in comparison to Papa's Pyramid it probably is easier, but I'm doing the harder version of it just to save like 8 seconds, so. I'm also bad at the easy version, so that's the reason why I'm doing the hard one. But yeah, it's right here. There's a fence here, but if you jump well enough, ta-da, go over it, and that saves a lot of time. If you do mess it up, you lose 10 seconds, so... Oh, nice miss. That sucks. The cycle here is good though, right now. And I'm hoping it stays that way. It's like, whenever you load the track, the PS2 isn't exactly too competent in loading the game. So it can lag when it loads the game, and you lose like a frame or two right at the start to like skipping the starting cutscene where it shows all the races and whatever. And when that happens, the cycle slightly varies and sometimes results in a very bad cycle, such as this one. Oh, yeah, there we go. And the AI is gonna be... Okay, that's fine. Yeah, good. That's a heavy reset point it runs. Like, if the AI is in a bad spot there, you just die immediately. Oh, yeah, that's cool. Dragon Mines. This minimap here is confusing when you're first in it. If you look at it now, you see that it's flashing it down, that blue dot, which means Dragon Mines. But you actually have to move up. And I'm... like, early on in 2013, I lost runs to that because I looked at the map and I was like, where am I actually going? But yeah, and I found myself in the other side of the map. Dragon Mines, this is the Komodo Joe boss battle track too, so it's gonna have really good. It works on cycles, so what you gotta do at the start here is optimize your time loss, or waste, or whatever you wanna call it, by getting this wump upgrade here. And it goes wide enough for you to not have to bother with the cycle at all. As you're gonna land behind it like so. You can see it going over there. And then you can just do the intended skip in an unintended way by just jumping through it. I think normally they want you to like use R2 or something, but you can just do that. Also, this track has a funny thing for new runners, where if you jump right at the end of it, you can jump over the finish line, and that skips the lap, and then you're kind of screwed at that point. Also, going wide here doesn't land behind that cycle. But yeah, it skips the lap, and then you have to do the entire lap over. Much like in Papa's Pyramid, except in Pyramid it loads in different spots, so you can recover easier, but it still loses like 10 seconds. I like mentioning that because I have very fond memories of racing the ex-record holder of this game, and he somehow managed to jump over the finish line 3 times in a row. A turbo isn't too nice, because when you already have fire, it doesn't do anything. Unless you're mid-air, in which case you get a slight speed boost, which I'm just going to use the air, there we go. But that's the only use of a turbo item in the game. Unless you are out of fire, in which case you can use the gain fire, but only if you have 10 Wumpa, so it's really never useful, apart from backups. Pull Pass is one of the longer tracks in the run, and it's also one of the fancier tracks in the run. Has another skip. Or exclamation mark as we know it here. The seals again now cycle, but you can avoid every single one, apart from the last ones, I guess. But they're really easy to react to, so that should be safe for the most part. You go to the left at the start here to get the upgrade and land at 10. It loses like nothing and saves more. Aww. Hit a wall there, but that's fine. There's a turbo bat right nearby, so... Anyway, here's the skip. You double jump at this fence, and ta-da, you're over. And that saves a lot of time. There's an even fancier time trial version of it, but it's like very difficult to pull off with Coco. It's not impossible to consistent though, and I'd rather just not go for it because I never really got more like 30% down on it. That's what I call it. That's a minor skip, I guess, but it's not like too exciting. And now you can go from the right, which saves more time now that we don't need the boom pentagrade. Boom pentagrade, yeah. I was gonna say middle, but I guess that works. There we go. Ta-da. You land downhill too, so you get a bit more speed boost when you land, because that's a really high jump you're doing there. So even if you do lose fire, because you kind of have to U-turn for it if you're me, then you still save the time back by just having an SG and, you know, doing the skip. That's cool jump. That never happens. And the final one. Should be good. Yeah, there we go. You might have seen me turn really sharply midair there. And what I'm actually doing there is holding down and the direction while holding square. So what down does is it reverses and then square breaks. So you do both at the same time in midair or even on ground, and it turns really, really sharply, and it's going to get heavily utilized in Hop 4. That was a nice dive. Alright, good. Now then, if we actually were running a marathon with donations, this would be a good spot for them, as Tiny Arena is everybody's bane. And it's the longest track in the game. I honestly really enjoy it, because when you get to a high level in it, it's like the most complex in terms of driving track. But it is the longest track in the game, and it's repetitive, so... There's like, there is one skip in here, but it's next to impossible with Coco. And even the time trial, which uses Penta, who has max stats as a character, only gets it like twice in the course. So not in all 3 laps. They're like, even still too scared to go for it, unless that has changed in recent times, in which case, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, this track's really bumpy, and you can use all of that to do all these mid-MTs. And get good reserves and speed boosts and whatever. There's a lot going on. It's really minor to a point where there's almost no point in explaining, because it's more the same. You do double jumps in very specific fashions to get speed boosted. Like so. There we go. And this is one of more like racing line heavy tracks too, where actual classic racing line like theory applies if you're used to, you know, playing actual racing games that are pod races. You can look it up. It's kind of interesting if you really like vehicles and whatever, knowing how to handle speed, but when it comes to this game, you usually turn tight enough for it not to even matter. You can also buffer jumps while you're midair, so you don't even need to jump before that. As long as you're midair, you can buffer a jump and then you get the midair MT that I'm getting there. Midair MT being, again, the midair drift. And a jump. Also, this is one of those tracks where you don't actually do too many full MTs. Full MTs add more to your reserves, but you want to do short ones in a lot of places here to cut the corners tighter. You get a little speed nudge, or whatever you want to call it, whenever you do an MT, so it helps you corner a bit better. Especially if you get them in frequent fashion. That sucks. Oh yeah, if you caught that glimpse of engine on the other side of the map, then yeah, you can actually see characters and items through some parts of the map for whatever inane reason, and especially if you're OOB, you can just see everything rendered. Not sure like what the actual idea behind that is, but I'm assuming that's what makes playing the game on multi-tap floor player really laggy. Alrighty then. Now this cutscene, thanks to a language glitch again, has some slight spoilers in terms of... Oh, never mind. Yeah, that's the cutscene to skip, but the next one after the boss. Then yeah, that's gonna have slight spoilers on who the final boss is. Ooh. But yeah, language glitch also skips that cutscene, saving 21 seconds on the run. PAL has a slower frame rate and some shenanigans like lower jumps compared to NTSC. So that makes some tracks a bit both harder and maybe slower, but it has faster SGs. Also no speed goes to the downhill speed to compensate for that. So when it comes to running the game, you can run it on either NTSC or PAL, it doesn't really matter. And I got a myself, it sucks. While you're inside that shortcut, by the way, you always land in second. So you can item manip there, but I haven't been lucky with it, apparently, so there's no chance to really talk about it apart from get that missile. The best items you can get from there are Arcu and Turbo, and the Turbo barely does anything, so... Alright, so I'm too fast here, I gotta go wide again. These cycles are on the timeout there. If you know the times, I'll just have a feel for it, then you know exactly when it's coming. NTSC and PAL actually have different cycles thanks to the fact that they run on different frame rates, which leads to the minecarts, for example, moving at a different speed. So once they start from their set points, the cycle ends up different. And that's why they put them. Oh yeah, you can't run this game on like NTSCJ, because what ends up happening is that Arcside has this monologue where he rambles about nothing for a good minute, and yeah, that's exactly why NTSCJ loses a lot of time. And now he has the actual cutscene that I was talking about, instead of the one we got skipped. Another thing worth mentioning is that the loading screens may be a bit faster than you're used to. The PS2 has this browser menu function where you can turn on a faster disk speed, and that cuts the loads in like half or so. Saving a good like almost 2 minutes, but it's not quite 2 minutes in run. PSP, PSTV, and PS Vita also have that feature, and PS3 just isn't competent enough to do that. And here's the final hub world, which includes a new mechanic to the game called Super Turbo Pads, and they have an interesting value to them, which I'd rather just show instead of explain right away. But yeah, you can pretty much make out what Super Turbo Pad means anyway. Here's engine maps, all line. This used to be like my favorite track in the game, but I guess now it's not. It looks good though. Alright, Cortex Lens and Wumpa. Thanks. That shield is very good in this track, because there's a barrel cycle in the middle. But yeah, right there you might have seen something odd, and it's gonna be very much more evident later when I hit that turbo bed again. Now what happens is that I have a lot of reserves, and hitting a super turbo bed means that you get to do this cool thing where if you don't boost after, it keeps the super speed you get from the turbo pad. Unless you do that, and then infinite fall down, and it's gonna be... Well, I guess it's still kind of evident when I do it, but yeah, it loses a lot of time. It sucks. But yeah, it gives you a lot of speed like so. And if you had more fire, then you would have had to jump like this, but jumping still keeps the speed, so that's fine. There we go. That's the furthest I can get it from on that lab though, so oh well. The thing about that spiral that I fall down on, it's not too bad, but if you jump wrong, it gives you this like Spiral 3-esque stutter jump where you just kind of don't gain any height. But I have another go at it again with a shield this time too, so I can get this thing again. Get some good reserves after this. Like so. Hopefully I get a double here, would be nice. Dude, nice, there we go. Alright, here we go again. Nice. So you can jump on the same turbo pad, and it's super turbo pad, meaning you get this speed boost, and if I don't do any boosts after, it's gonna last a very long time until Well, actually, it's gonna last until I need it anyway, so. That's where it cancels because you get a boost, so you can just jump off there, and you still keep the speed kind of, but here's where it stops. Unless you get a propulsion. But yeah, for reference, a normal lap here would be like 44, 42, 42, so that kind of really sucks. Because the added benefit of that is having USF on the next lap, and that saves time on the next lap too. Which means if I don't get the USF to next lap, then it's gonna lose time both laps. Very brutal speed game. Yeah, I can do it again here. There we go. You can easily jump over this little hole here at these two. And every single track in this hub world actually has a super turbo pad in it. But Hada, Skyway, and Oxide Station don't have a use for it as they have bigger skips in them than just that. Codex Castle Harbor doesn't have any skips in it, so it gets to use it. Worth noting here is that this level is one of the more evident ones of like all the levels in this game are themed off the previous Crash games, and this one's from Crash 1. And like Roost Hoops is Crash 3 and so on. You can figure it out if you play the games. Fire management, much like in Engine Labs, in this track it's even like emphasized more so than Engine Labs because you need even tighter MTs to keep the fire all the way. So you gotta do this as full as possible and also just like not hit any walls or mess them up. You can do cool jumps here to cut a corner here. Here's a super turbo, but again, it does the same thing as before. And there we go. Hitting the turbo bat again gives you fire, so while you're doing nothing, it loses all your reserves you gained by doing all these LTs beforehand. So hitting the turbo bat to end it is really good, so you can get it all back automatically. If there were no turbo bats in the way, we would just eventually run out, and that would be the end of that. That spot isn't a good cycle in lap 3 every time, so you get a better quantic on there. Seems like nothing, but it's fun, I guess. Oh yeah, that's a good point. Alright, so shoutouts to Natty720, here we go. The Marathon Special. Whoa. I had my friend Brent around there to tell me to do that because I almost forgot. Too focused and going fast. Yeah, yeah, thanks. It looks fun though. I did that in a race once because I was taunting, but yeah. Oh, nice Skyway. So like I said, this one has a super turbo bat in it, but it's not going to use it. Also remember to reduce lag. That's a note to myself. In fact, this one has 2 skips in it. Much like Oxide Station will. There you go, lag reduction. It's going to be really evident that it lags right here. There we go. So, what you need to do, interestingly enough, is go far enough into the track to load it. And the further into the track you go, the further you load the track. So now you turn around, even though you could have turned around earlier. You go back here, and this part is now loaded so you can land on it. Ta-da. And that skips a good bunch. And the same applies here. You go far enough, and you turn around, jump over this fence, and you're done. Also, one of you uses a U-turn here. There we go. Saves a bit of time over just going normally. Now that the AI is not here, I can do it this way and saves a bit more time. That's a jumping U-turn, by the way, which is the same thing, but with jumps. This one only works if you're close enough to this track, as it kind of like visibly clips you down, and you can do that every single part of the track on this place. So if you do it on where there's nothing under it, you jump, well, you fall down, and then you fall down to nothing for a good 7 seconds before the game realizes, oh, we actually went too far. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure why it loads nothing below it, but it does. But as long as there is something, you'll land on it, if you have it loaded. Oh yeah, this is gonna be fun, because every AI is behind me right now, so I'm good. There we go. That has ruined a run before, believe it or not. If they hit you, they bonk you, and they also push you backwards, and then you lose like 10 seconds, and that's it. You're done. Cool. Aw, man, I braked too long. Oh well. This looks bad, but doesn't do anything. Now, Oxide Station works in a similar fashion, where you just drive far enough into the track, but you drive far enough into the track in a different fashion this time. Even in the hub worlds, you can boost off of the downhills by getting speed off of them, by doing an MT on them, and then jumping off them by keeping the speed here. Now then, the way you want to do this drive far in faster is by hitting the fence up there. And you fall down further into the track. You land here. Now you go backwards, because now the track's loaded, now that I land to find next AI. That sucks. I'm scared of this. And now you jump back to the same fence, go here, and yeah. And you also jump over this, so yeah, there you go. That skips, if you see the map there, it's very convoluted, but if everybody actually knows the map by heart, then you know exactly how much that skips. There's really cool movement here, but it's the same thing. You just land on downhills, get speed off, and jump. It keeps it, hopefully. You can also just drive down there if you really want to, and it works the same way, as long as you just go backwards the same. Depending on the landing, you kinda adjust your landing here a bit different, because if you land too early, then what happens is that you have to like land early into the track too, otherwise you're landing on an unloaded path. But those landings are very good, so I have nothing to worry about. And yes, you will do that in the boss fight too. Is the AI again? Yeah, that's good. Nice. By the way, it says wrong way there. That's the exclamation mark. There's just no language, so. Oh yeah, and you U-turn at the end there, because it doesn't matter. As long as you have enough landing boost to fill the meter on the right side, bottom right, to like 150 I think it is, but it's on red, and that gives you fire back immediately, so it doesn't matter if you U-turn before and you lose fire. It gives you a tighter turn, so it's minor time save. There we go, that's nice. The last two tracks will have repeats here. It's gonna be Hara Escape again and Oxide Station again, which makes the end game really brutal and hard to run. But I guess it's more fun that way, arguably. Yeah, it's Komodo Joe. I don't know why he has a green hand. Like, that never actually like made sense to me, but yeah. Yeah, there's a wall behind like every single garage that you just bonk on and Coco goes out. Right then. Hara Escape again. Now Pinstripe isn't too much of a threat. Even on lap 1 you don't have to do the like this thing the wrong way, because he's not gonna be in your way as he drives past you fast enough. There you go. That bomb shouldn't hit you ever, so nothing to worry about there. Oh, that sucks. I mean, it's still loaded, so it's fine to go far and turn around and do it again. There we go. I need a bit of speed for it, so I do need to go a bit far. Anyway, that really actually kind of sucks, because on lap 3 it's gonna be hard Pinstripe shenanigans, I guess. Now, if you do mess something up like that in boss fights, they're usually cycled nicely enough for you to not have anything to worry about. But if you do that, then on lap 3, they catch up to you because you're catching up to them, and in turn they give you bombs in your face, because that's what the Pinstripe does. So I'll see how it goes, but yeah. Yeah, I didn't jump close enough to that. If you jump from too far, it just kind of like doesn't like you enough to load anything. It's not too precise, but yeah, it is kind of precise. A 39, that's really nice. Anyway, lap 3. Here we go. So right after the skip, it's gonna be the other skip, and then Pinstripe's gonna be ahead of me. That's what I think it's gonna happen. Unless I'm like really fast for some reason, and he's really slow. Yeah, you can see him there. Alright. Man. The thing about items in this game is that they don't really care about borders too much, and if he shoots a bomb from down there, it's gonna come up there like so. Okay, I'm too far behind to actually care about him, so whatever. Aw, man, jumped over that. That's fine. If you jump over, it loses like half a second, so whatever. Oxide's a bigger pain if I do that entire mess up thing on lap 3, but he's also a pain on every lap as is. He's like the one killer when it comes to boss RNG. There's a good few cutscenes, I guess. And the missing head we are looking for.
Cool. What is your opinion on Jack X?
Can you repeat that?
What is your opinion on Jack X?
Nice meme. Okay, yeah, Jack X is really good in time trials, but like, when it comes to actually doing full game runs, it's the worst game. But ILs are very physics heavy, and it's one of Naughty Dog's better like racing games. I guess they only made 2. Anyway, depending on the start here, that's a slow start, which means I can go have him. That's good. Nice. Now then. It might be a minor issue depending on how he wants to throw the TNT, but usually it's no problem, that's fine. Oh yeah, it's the exact same track, and Oxide's just got to do his thing. The boss is driving a set like line. Oh, wow, that was an explosion down there, outer space. But yeah, the boss is like driving a specific line they take, and they throw items in the same places. It's not gonna matter too much until, yeah, you can see bottles there driving there. It's not gonna matter too much until lap 3, where it's gonna be a really big pain depending on what he decides to do. So 2 4, so 3 jumps there, yeah. I kind of wish I had a shield, but that I don't. And I'm not going to go for it, because if I place an item here, there's a chance I'll just run into it later. So you only really use items in like lap 3 or whatever. So, green bottles. That's okay so far. Yeah, that's fine. That's good. Oh, that's very good. There's nothing here. That's rare. There's a nitro down here, though. There we go. It's in like different space, like places, so I usually go like way far left, because it can be on the turbo bat too. So now that I haven't like messed anything up, Oxide's not gonna be ahead of me. Apparently I did. That sucks. But I already loaded the track on Lantern, so that's fine. But yeah, if Oxide was ahead of me, he would have placed red bottles right there, and it's gonna be really bad, and there's next to no challenge playing that nicely. But yeah, time's coming up, like, at the end of this lap, yeah. Get ready. Dance for me, babe. And that was overall, like, really nice. And the time.
Okay, insane. Sick. What time did you get? 51:30.
In terms of, like,
Nice.
movement timing, that's a 51:20 something, so that's really good, nice. But yeah, the game crashes here thanks to language glitch, so you never get to see the credits, and that's Crash Team Racing. Thanks. for having me.
Thank you.
Hey, yeah. Now is the last game, but not the least, Dark Souls 2, so prepare your aims and every other possible organ you have. We're gonna do a little setup and we're gonna continue with Dark Souls 2, so be prepared.